Okay, here's another question from a watcher, William Whittle. He's like, he knows that you like Robert E. Howard a lot, and then you're familiar with H.P. Lovecraft and respect him. Are there any other weird tales writers? Now, I assume that he's, whether it's the genre of weird tales or whether it's the actual magazine of weird tales. If there's any other writers there, Arkham Reporter actually showed me some reprints that are like straight up reprints that are affordable because the originals, if they exist, are very expensive. He showed me some reprints, and there's a whole bunch of other writers there, some who I've forgotten, but who seem to be decent writers. I can't think of any of them at the moment. I need to get my hands on those. But basically, the question is for you: like, are there any other weird tales or somewhere in that genre writers that you like? Obviously, there's an obvious writer that you're familiar with that will probably be the main focus of it, Mr. Clark Ashton Smith.
He's the best. Clark Ashton Smith, I regard as the best of the pulp writers that I read. But other people before and after him worked in what I regard as the same converging genre, and they might have looked back to Edgar Allan Poe as their inspiration. Bierce, Jack London. Jack London in the late 1800s wrote some really frightening horror and science fiction, and in the early 1900s he did that too. The two people that extended it, I think, the most into the era of the novel would be I'm forgetting the first guy's name, but he was Stephen Michael Secchi's favorite author, and he wrote Amaranta Station, and sorry, I forgot that guy. He did a bunch of short novels, and it was, he wrote The Dying Earth, a series of stories that was set in the future dying Earth. Jack Vance. Jack Vance is the guy I'm looking for. So this is a guy that started writing, I believe, in the early 50s, and he's writing through the late 70s, and he provides the connection for that whole theme. And he was an excellent writer. He was a recluse. And the person that takes up, in my mind, where he left off was Gene Wolfe, who wrote a good dozen novels, and it was in a weird, horrific future is where all this stuff is set. And he doesn't forget the religious aspects of horror. And that's something that Clark Ashton Smith dealt with very well. Some people would call his prose redolent, which was, it's kind of a put down for a more precise writing style, but I think it was proper for what he was conveying. And another person from the pulp era who's been reprinted in a couple collections is A.E. Van Voigt. I'm probably pronouncing this wrong. The bad guys in his Mars novels were the Slan. There's also a person that wrote in the 50s and 60s, I don't know if it was a man or a woman, Leigh Brackett, Leigh Brackett, and I think it had two T's on the end of it. There was the Hounds of Skaith. It was a futuristic horror about somebody using mechanical intelligent hounds to hunt people.
Nice.
And they were like, he was like the hero, and he had these things. That was like 3 short novels in a collection. There was Lynn Carter, who wrote the Thongor series, and he wrote Renegade of Callisto, which was Callisto, the moon, one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn, and he's writing short novels, and he was one of the people that did the pastiches for him and L. Sprague de Camp and Bjorn Nyberg. Along with Lynn Carter, they were the 3 people that really worked on filling out some of Robert E. Howard's fragments.
Okay.
So look for those people. And Andrew J. Uffitt, who kind of inherited Howard's franchise with the Cormac McCart character, which was probably Howard's best character that never made it into the Wheelchairs magazine, but was put in paperback in the 70s. So look for those
So you got a
guys.
lot of names there. I've haven't heard of like most of them.
My
And
Ward Barbarian is a short novel written by Andrew J. Offutt, which I think was his most fun one. It's
okay.
like Conan in the future.
Oh man, that's
Okay,
cool.
and it was like a whole planet full of women just screaming to have his babies.
That's
And
right.
It's very, very misogynistic.
Oh, that's good. Remember, guys, you gotta be
A
misogynistic.
great Boris Vallejo cover
No.
for my Lord Barbarian. So
All right,
look
so
that
we
up.
got some people to look into there. All
When
right,
Death
back.
Birds Fly
Oh,
is an Andrew J. Offutt novel about Cormac McCart, and his buddy is Wolfir the Skull Splitter, a Danish Viking.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
All right, so we have good, very cool, man. I didn't even heard. I mean, I've heard of Cormac McCart, the character, but yeah, cool, man. Thanks for the suggestion.